Hi, it's Candy. Welcome to the channel, Candy K Can. When we first started this channel, I called it The Art of Planning, and we focused on planning pretty, planning powerful, and planning on purpose. I've since kind of ventured off that focus quite so much, although this will always be a planning channel. And I was thinking probably this past week that, gosh, I feel like I'm yelling at you. I don't mean to. That I should re-embrace that planning, or I should re-embrace the pretty, the on purpose, and the powerful, because those are three things that are very important to me no matter what it is that I'm doing. I've kind of embraced being more creative lately just because I need that. I personally, that's a place that I've landed right now, and that's, you know what, that's just what my soul needs right now, is to be creative and just fun and just not have to think about anything. But I always want to be as powerful as I can. I always want to be as on purpose as I can, and I always want things to be pretty. Now, for me, that is because I like things better whenever they're nice to look at. We have a lot of guys that are on this channel, and I appreciate you guys, and I love it whenever you comment. And I know that most everybody, guys included, like things to be visually appealing. And that's not only in what we look at, but if we like to look at things that are visually appealing, then I'm going to assume that we appreciate things that are visually appealing, so it's better when our work is visually appealing also. So let's go back and re-embrace that, kind of that subtitle, kind of our, that's kind of our branding, is pretty, on purpose, and powerful. So let's certainly re-embrace that. And this is always going to be a planner a planner channel. Always. And when I go off into the creativity part, that's always going to be for planning, for planners, and that also. So that's kind of a reintroduction. I hope this isn't too in your face right now, but I wanted you to be able to see this, because this is where we're going to go after kind of another introduction. But this is an iris photo and craft keeper. You guys may have already found this, use it in your organization skills. I had never seen anything about this on YouTube, so I wanted to share it with you. It's called the Large Photo and Craft Keeper. It is by Iris USA Inc. Iris USA Inc. I got it. I actually think that I ordered it from Joann's. I also think you can probably get it at Michael's, Joann, maybe Hobby Lobby, but this is one of the best things I ever found. I have another one sitting over here also, and I use it to store and to organize a lot of things that have to do with embellishments, that have to do with my crafting, with my die cuts, with things like that. So I will show you that, okay? So what I am doing now in crafting is I'm doing some things for my journals, for my traveler notebooks, and also for my Franklin planner. Because I want them to be visually appealing, I am going to do like some book tags and bookmarks, that kind of thing. So what I have learned about myself whenever I do things in the creative realm, like when I'm making tags now, and I find it more on purpose and more powerful when I create things in mass. So like if I'm working on tags, it's better for me to work on 6 or 8 of them than it is for me to just work on one. I'm going to drag as much stuff out to work on 6 or 8 of them as I am if I'm just going to work on one. And my time is spent better working on numbers of them instead of just working on one of them. So therefore, it's a little bit more of a process in the beginning to wrap my head around, how do I want to do this? What color scheme do I want to do out of this? But let me take you on that trip there also, okay? So I'm going to move this to the side. Let me show you. This handle goes up to close it, and then the handle. So this is what it looks like, okay? this little handle will come up. I know it's hard for me to show you that. I could have put my tripod on something else, but okay, so now you unsnap that, you open it up, and then you have, I think I counted a total of 16 of these little photo keepers. They'll hold 4x6 photos. They snap shut, and then you put them right in here, and you use them however you want to use them, okay? They would be great for photos. That's not how I utilize them. I'm going to move these to the side. I'm working on tags right now. I'm going to do it this way so I can move the camera down and try to get it refocused. For you. This is always a little bit tricky because what I see in the viewfinder is different than what you see. And I hope that focuses for us. Okay, fingers crossed. Okay, so I'm working on tags now. And I wanted to work on a number of them. I'm working from the Recollections paper pad. I think it's called Watercolor Boho, something like that. I showed that to you also in one of the past videos. So all of the paper colors coordinate because I'm doing them all out of that book. So when you do it like that, and because everything coordinates, then you can mix and match everything for the tags, but also for some of the embellishments that you will be working on with the tags. So here are different sizes of tags that I die cut on my die machine. And I used a set of dies that has either 6 or 7 graduated sizes. There are 2 bigger sizes, I believe, and then there are many smaller ones. I don't know if I need to open that or not. It goes down to baby size tags. Like there are smaller ones right there. I did cut some out of some plain colors also. Okay? Okay, so when I'm first doing my tags, I do multiples of the tags. And then I do them in all different sizes because I never know exactly what for sure I want to do, okay? And then I have to think about, these are all going to coordinate within the group, but what other colors are prevalent and what do I kind of want my color theme to be so I don't have to drag out 50 shades of washi or 50 rolls of washi. I can just drag out a dozen rolls of washi. I'm probably going to work with some golds in it, so I kind of think of what are other kinds of paper I'm going to use, what are other colors of paper am I going to punch out, what do I kind of want my theme to be, what other die cuts am I going to be interested in using. So I'm going to prepare a lot of things that I can use in mass. I don't want this to sound harder than it is because it's easier for me to think about it and get it all together initially, so I can just sit down and slap those tags together. I don't have to think about what I'm going to do for one tag and then go gather it all up, because it really is easier for me to do a number of them at one time than it is to just do one. I have more fun. I stay more creative like that. I can think of different options. And also, I really started doing this because I wanted to use up a lot of stuff that usually doesn't get used. I pulled out other die cuts. I pulled out paper scraps. I pulled up, and I sit in front of the TV sometimes and just go through my paper stash and pull out colors that I know can go with this, because I have so much stuff that I wanted to use. That's really one of the reasons I even started thinking about doing it this way, was because I wanted to use stuff from my stash, and I have used so much stuff from my stash. So this is one way that gets used also. So as I use other die cuts and different elements, then they get put in one of these little guys too. So really, I have got to keep this focused. I'm not trying to teach you how to make tags. I'm trying to show you about how I use this organizational piece right here. So if I am going through my box of little extra papers, when I go through and see colors that I would like to use here or that I could use on my tags, I can just pull them out. Or if I'm sitting there one night and I want to punch some hearts, I'll punch hearts out of things that will go with this. It has really allowed me to pull out and use a lot of extra things and then organize them. Like, how do I want to organize them? So, trying to think something that will kind of make sense as far as organize. Okay, this is when I did one of my sets of dividers for one of my traveler's notebooks earlier. I picked out colors of things that I wanted to do that would all go together, that the colors were all the same, and got some things ready earlier to do that. So these are all things with the same theme, within the same color family, that could go into that traveler's notebook and in the dashboard pages. Okay, so obviously I had extras. Fine with me. This is their little landing place right here. Okay, this is, let me show you this in another box. This box has words in it, which so far has been my least favorite die cut thing to use, is the words. But, so there's a love that I punched out. There's a live. There's a misplaced butterfly. And here are some other just words. These are just those little words. So I have a box full of words down here. I'm not going to try to get them all apart, but here are where my words are stored, okay? So none of these pertain to what I'm doing right now, but I just want to show you how I use some of these, okay? I had another one of these. So I also use these to store some of my smaller dies. I keep them in their own little cellophane. But then I store those little dies in here. Now, I just find this to be tremendously helpful. I don't know if it's the correct thing to do or the right thing to do, or I don't have any idea if this is politically correct. That mason jar is cute. I haven't used that yet. Again, I don't know if it's politically correct to do with your dies or not, but if that's a big no-no and I'm doing something terribly wrong, I guess you can let me know. Oh, you know, I do a lot on my dashboards with cards, kind of inspiration cards, and here are a lot of things that I cut out and I could, or have used on those little affirmation inspiration cards. So if I've cut up a sheet that has come out of a paper pad, you know, sometimes there's a whole sheet of little affirmations or little word sheets. There'll be a whole bunch on a sheet, and if you cut them apart and you use some and you don't use the others, I don't know how I would even keep up with those if I didn't have these in here. So these are where extras are. So these are things I can always use. I mean, this is one of my favorites. And you'll know that it's in probably everything I own. But these are where extras are, so I can always have those to make or throw together, okay? Now, I will show you I have a box that has crowns in it. I have a box that has some other die cuts in it, other small ones. So one of the last things I got finished up before I'm starting on my tags is these cards. These were all Project Life cards, and they had Celebrate on them with just this little pink background. So I took these cards, I got them all together. I thought, what do I want to do? How do I want to do these? I had this really cute stamp that says, always wear your invisible crown. If I'd used it before, it had been very seldom. So with just the Project Life card that said Celebrate on it, I did them all very similar. I did, but that's okay because I loved it. I will give some away. I will share. I will laminate. I will use several of them, but I used a different washi across the top. I used this crown that was a punch, and then I used some hearts on them. And I really built as I went along. I started first to do the washi across the top, and I knew I wanted to use the crown. I had several stamps that were different sizes. I didn't know exactly where that was going to end up. So I kind of built my scheme as I went along. But see, it helped me to have several to work with so I could see what I wanted to do and how to build it. And they're not all the same, but they are all very similar. And I kind of used the same scheme. Now, this is not a Project Life card. I wanted to do a couple out of some different paper, some paper of my own, and try some different things. So I still ended up doing extras, but I thought that was such a fun idea. So that's how I will store those also before I end up sharing them or sending them or whatever I end up doing. So I wanted to share that piece of storage advice with you and hope that that's something that you find helpful in what you do. So I hope that was helpful to you. I hope that was a good idea, and I will see you very soon. If you haven't subscribed, please do. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Be sure and send your friends to view. I appreciate that so much, and I will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Love you guys. Bye-bye.